Question 3. 200 people of different ages were asked to choose their favorite type of music from choices popular, country and western, and heavy metal. The results are shown in the table below. So you've got your age across there and you have your type of music there. So in this sort of data, we are looking to see, is there any relationship? Is the age, does that influence the type of music? So it was decided to perform the chi-squared test for independence at the 5% level on the data. Now, basically, when it says the 5% level, it means that the null hypothesis, which is that there is no relationship between the age and the choice of music, would be true 95% of the time when you're saying 5%. So 95% of the time, there would be no relationship. So write down the null hypothesis. So here we have the choice of music is independent. Now you want to use that word, independent of the age. So write down the number of degrees of freedom. Now your degrees of freedom is you look at the number of rows. So we've got 1, 2, 3 rows. And you look at the number of columns. We've got 3 columns. These totals don't count. These are just adding them up. So you've got your number of columns is also 3. And to find your number of degrees of freedom, we take 3 minus 1. It's the number of rows minus 1 times the number of columns minus 1. And that would obviously equal to be 4 because it would be 2 times 2. Then write down the chi-squared value. Now you can calculate that. It's quite an involved calculation. It's best to use your calculators for this. So in doing this, we want to enter this data here into a matrix. So we want to enter that data in, and to do that, I go second function, and then this button over here, matrix. Now, we've got that, and then I go along to my edit. I go along to edit, and we're going to edit the first one, the A1. Now, I've actually typed in this data already. I've made this a 3 by 3, and I've typed in my data here. You can see there that you've got your 35, 5, and 50, 30, 10, 20, 20, 25, and 5. So I've actually already done that. You need to put that in. Then we go to stat, and we go along to tests. And then we have to go down to our chi-square test. And there it is over there. So we go there and we say enter. And now it's saying, okay, so the observed and the expected, we're going to get these is going to be in A. Our expected values is looking at what we would expect from the totals. So that we're not going to look at that, but we've got it in A there. And then we go down to calculate. So I go down to calculate, and then I say enter. And it gives me my chi-squared value. So this is the value for your chi-squared test. It's going to be 51.6. 51.6. Then state whether or not you will reject the null hypothesis giving a clear reason for your answer. So we would, in doing this, we would go to here. So what we do here is we go to this column down here of your table is your number of degrees of freedom. So we have got 4 degrees. So we're looking at this row here. And we are looking at our 0.5, 0.95. So the 0.95 chi-square test, the limit is 9.488, and your chi-squared value is greater than that because that's 51.6. was our chi-squared value. So it was greater than that. And when it's greater than that, that means that the chi-squared, that the null hypothesis is not true. If it was less than 9, if this value was less than 9.48, this value over here, this 9.48, it would be true.